And just one more. There we go. Alright, you are all hooked up to the apparatus. Now that we have a nice neural monitoring system, you are not going anywhere for the rest of the day. No, no, no. You are officially under my care for the rest of the day because you, are sick. Yes. Based on your symptoms here, I can only assume you caught the equivalent of the Nekonian common cold. Yeah, or at least the equivalent of it. The Earth equivalent of the common cold here on Nekonia. It's no surprise, I suppose, you are on a new planet with new germs and, environment. And, well, it is currently the rainy season. Yes, you kind of arrived here shortly before the downpour, which is, well, you know how on Earth in Alaska, there's like a part of the year where there's several months in a row of just pure darkness? Well, here on Nekonia, we have, during our equivalent to a summer, about 2 or 3 months where it just rains nonstop. We call it the downpour, which, it sounds a lot nicer in Nekonian. But people get sick a lot more during then. Because, going out getting wet, it's usually a pretty pleasant rain, I must say, but your immune system does usually falter when you get wet in the rain and end up getting cold from, being soaked, so I'm not surprised. So, you're not going anywhere today. I'm going to take your temperature here. Here you go. Hold on. Open up. Come on. There we go. Just keep that under your tongue. And then we'll pull that out in a second. I'm going to take your temperature and I'll treat you to some medicine and home remedies, okay? You can just relax. Just lay there. Got you all tucked in. There we go. You're nice and safe from the rain. And I guess I should use this opportunity to take some notes, ask you some questions, right? I haven't really had the opportunity to examine a sick Earthling yet. Oh, there we go. Let me take this out of your mouth. Okay, looks like, small fever, at least based on what I know about Earthlings. 150 degrees Fahrenheit is just a normal fever for you, right? I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Ooh, or maybe you use Celsius. I had to learn that on Earth there's a bunch of different measurement systems. It's kind of surprising you haven't just come to one universal system of measurement, not even for distance or weight. I guess it's just something else that makes you unique. Regardless, I suppose I should ask you some questions about your condition, shouldn't I? Yes, hold on. Let me open up a notepad here on my hollow computer. Here we are. And let's see here what to ask first. I suppose just a general, how are you feeling right now? Okay. Have you ever felt symptoms like this before? Okay. So, would you say that there are similar sicknesses like this on Earth? At least in your personal experience. I know I did equate it to the cold, but Okay. Interesting. Have you also been unable to cure the common cold on your planet? I see. Yes, no planet so far in the Federation has been able to cure a common cold-like sickness. I suppose there's probably no definite cure, but let's see. Do you enjoy the rain here on Nekonia? Okay. Very nice. And let's see. Do you normally get taken care of by someone, like a loved one or friend, when you're sick? Or do you tough it out alone? Okay. Alright, and then what do you normally do when you feel sick like this on Earth? Alright. Sounds a bit similar to what we do. Let me think here. This is a rare opportunity. Do you often get sick? Especially during rainy months or days, I suppose. Okay, and let's see. Would you say that when you're sick, consuming food such as soup helps? Okay, good. Alright, and then let me think here. What would you say is the highest temperature fever you've had? Okay. I'll have to log that later, actually, in the research logs for sure. And lastly, because I'd really want to get your fever down, but oh, I'm just so curious. One or two more questions. I can't have this be the last one. Let me think here. What kind of things do you normally do to get rid of common sicknesses like this? I will have to write some of these down. Okay. Okay, and okay, I'll make this the last one because I really want to get your temperature down. How much time do you normally need to rest in order to get rid of a normal sickness? I know many Earthlings have varying strengths of their immune system. Okay. And then I'm just going to take some visual examinations. Let's see. because your complexion and such does change when you're sick. Let's see, subject. Doesn't appear to have it looks like they were a little red, but they don't seem very red right now. It looks like actually their nose is supposed to be that the job doesn't seem to reach like normal species will go. And let's see, the subject might be a little sweaty, but that's okay. Subject doesn't seem to want to get it up there. Seems like achy. Would you say you're achy at all? Yeah, it looks like that. Subject seems a little achy, and let's see, Oh, do you not understand what I'm saying? Interesting. So, if I were to get really close, talk like this, if I were to you like this, I'm going cute, and you what I'm saying, I don't know. Sounding doesn't seem to be able to tell what I'm saying when I'm whispering. Very interesting. Very interesting. Yes, there usually is a toss-up if species can understand that frequency of speech. But you don't how much you would seem to be able to tell if I say something quiet like this, you would be able to say, go to tell. You truly don't understand what I'm saying? That is very interesting. But that is not the focus right now. Sorry, I got a little caught up there. I need to bring your fever down. So let's pour you some water here. There we are. And let's place that right next to you. Perfect. I apologize. I drank some of the leftover water. There you are. You sip that as you please. Just a nice container of water here. Is the commonly used word container? Or is it cup? Glass, maybe? I like cup more. So I suppose here's a cup of water. Believe it or not, water, very similar to the drinkable water on Earth, is kind of a universal constant in the galaxy. And most species need it to live, so you will not run short on water here. And let's see here, I suppose I should possibly dab your forehead with a wet towel, shouldn't I? Yes, I'll get a wet rag and I'll be right back. Okay. I have a wet rag right here for you, and I'm just going to dab it against your head. There we are. There we go. I'll admit, one of my favorite things to do when it's hot out is to get a nice damp cloth and just lay it across my head. There we go. Let the nice cool water trickle over your forehead. I don't think I'll have to give you any medicine, luckily, but I suppose I can give you some to help you sleep if you need. If your nose is a little stuffy. There we go. Get you nice and cooled down. My poor little earthling. I promise we'll be able to go out and explore after you're feeling better. And I can tell you all about Nekonia and how our environment changes during the downpour. Because we have adapted quite a bit of our life around it. Farming cycles and holidays, work schedules. Usually we actually all get off work for the majority of the downpour because of, well, you know, but if it's remote, it kind of depends. There we are. I know I'll have some work tonight, filing away a lot of this data that I got on you. But for now, I'm just your helpful little roommate, and not the scientist aboard a research vessel. Well, I am no longer aboard a research vessel. Aboard our shared apartment. Yes. The beautiful little vessel here of our apartment. Besieged by rain. There we are. I won't lie. It feels good having some of this water cascading down my paws. Nice and cool. There we are. And I've also prepared for you some soup if you're feeling hungry. You need something in your stomach, even if it feels upset. It'll make you feel better, I promise. This is a special recipe. Yeah, we need to introduce you to more Nekonian cuisine. Oh, there we are. Although I don't mind cooking Earth recipes. There we go. I think this towel is just about squeezed free of its water. So I'll just lay this across your hand. There we go. And I'll feed you a bit of soup. Okay, so I've got the soup here. And I'm gonna need you to open wide, okay? Come on. There we go. This is a traditional Nekonian recipe. Open wide. There we go. It's a very simple recipe. I prefer having it open with a grilled cheese, typically. It's a pretty simple recipe. It's just open wide. There we go. It's just a local vegetable that's only available here on the new continent. Open up. There we go. And a bit of milk, some seasoning. It's very easy on the stomach. Should help you feel better. Open, open, open. There we go. Yes, we have grilled cheese. Who doesn't have grilled cheese? Open up. Come on. Cheese is a universal constant. There we go. But that's something for the philosophers to think about, and not me, who is a simple, biologically focused scientist. Open up. There we go. Technically, my degree is in xenobiology. Well, I went back to university for xenobiology, but still. Originally, before this, open up. There we go. I was just a simple doctor, just a medical doctor, family practitioner, and all that. Open up. There we are. I'm glad you like the soup. So, you are in good paws, as I am used to curing illness. There you go. Open up. Open, open, open. There we go. Just a little bit more, okay? Open up. There we go. And one more bite for now. I'll save the rest for later, okay? Maybe I'll make you a grilled cheese. If you want. Open wide. There you go. Perfect. And now I think it's time to get you to sleep, okay? Good. Just relax. I'll be here to take care of you. There we go. Shh. Go to sleep, my little earthling. Shh. There'll be plenty of time to explore and learn tomorrow. But for now, your only job is to rest. Shh. Shh. Good night, my little earthling. Only a little peck on the forehead. I don't want to get sick. Blech.